Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Non-Gone and today we're going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. More specifically, we're going to be playing and beating the Top Secrets Challenge, which includes Bahamut Ifrit, Pride and Joy. You'll get your Ultimate Weapon trophy for finishing this. You get a really cool accessory you can use for hard mode. I'm going to call this a stay bad video, which means we're going to do it without getting good. The game has all kinds of elegant mechanics. There's a stagger mechanic, there's magic power, block and parry, there's materia you can use, give you more special attacks. There's all kinds of setups and tools, make you very powerful, easily beat this battle, but you got to learn all that stuff, and we're not going to do any of that. We're going to spec ourselves out so we can withstand just about all the attacks they give us, and then we're just going to hit everything with our stick until it dies. Sound like fun? Then let's get started. So while I've been talking, I've been kind of scrolling through everyone's loadout so you can see what their weapons and materia and all that stuff is. You can pause if you want to see exactly what it is. I'm not going to go over every single thing that's in there. I'll kind of touch bases. Also, I'll put this in the description so you can kind of just spec your stuff out. But let's get to materia first. I'm just going to cover the basics, like some of the most important stuff. On materia, there's a linked pair on each armor. Cloud and Tifa should have Ice Elemental on theirs, and Aerith is going to get Healing and Magnify. That allows her to cure or cast Regen on you with one cast, so that's very, very helpful. Ice Elemental is going to come into play one time, and it's the most fun time. We'll get there in a minute. Make sure all your materia is maxed out. You can do that. You can grind it in the Coliseum or in Chapter 16. As far as weapons go, you can see the ones that I used here and the upgrades that I picked. The most important one is Reprieve, and in order to do that, you're going to have to get enough SP to open the last level on your weapons. I think if you get everyone to level 50, which you'll do by leveling up your materia and then do all the Coliseum VR challenges, the Chadley stuff and the combat sim and all that, you'll either almost get it or just go over to unlock that last node. If you don't, try that Kupo kid in town there in the kids area in chapter 8 or 14. He sells a manual for each of your characters, and that's probably the last 10 that you need to get that open. Once you do, you're going to want to make sure every weapon has 6 slots of materia. They don't have to be linked, just 6 slots. And all 3 of them have Reprieve. That's going to come in super, super handy. So now that you got a good idea for the loadout, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're in Chapter 17 in the Combat Simulator, and we're going to scroll down to the very last one. We've already beaten everybody here, which will unlock it. And it is the Top Secret Challenge. So this is a 5-round challenge now that we're getting into the battle. The first round is Shiva. Shiva is an ice-based boss. You absorb ice with 2/3 of your character. So guess what? All of her attacks will heal you. Aerith is the only one that's vulnerable. You can just simply cast Regen on her, and she'll just sit there and gain health. If she gets real low, which she will at some point, just have Cloud or Tifa throw a Kiraga on her, and that's it. And then you can literally do whatever you want. Just to test this out, I left the controller and went and made some coffee, and I came back an hour later. Aerith was of course dead, and Cloud and Tifa were doing fine, had full health. Shiva was about halfway dead already, so I think it'd take about 2 hours to kill her without even touching the controller. This is kind of cheeky. Again, it's a stay bad video. A lot of elegant ways you can beat her. We're not doing any of those. Just have fun. Just hit her until she's dead. In fact, this is dumb, so I'm just going to either forward this or cut it, and we'll get to round 2 here in a minute. Okay, so Shiva's about to be toast here, which is going to bring up a couple of things. First of all, when you win a round, you will get some of your health and some of your MP back. It's about 50% health, about 30% MP. So when we're in hard mode, you can't use items, so this is kind of the only way you can really get your MP back. This is great, though. We did really well. We're now into stage 2, or round 2, and this is going to be Chocobo and Moogle. I'll give you step-by-step instructions. Step 1, go to Aerith and cast Regen, and keep it on at all times. Step 2, switch to Cloud, get behind him, press triangle to go to Punisher mode, and then just start holding down the square button to attack. You'll do about 3 attacks, and one of them will be red, you're going berserk, all that stuff. Again, we're not worried about mechanics, we're just trying to kill him. You want to keep doing that. That's going to get the orange bar up under the yellow bar. That's the stagger bar, by the way. You're going to get that orange bar up to the top, at which point he will be staggered, and for the next 20 seconds, he'll lay on his back and do nothing. That's when you really want to unleash on him. Also, Moogle is going to be summoning a bunch of little people. Anytime you have little people on the screen, you want to use Cloud, and you want to do triple slash. That's the ability on the little people until they're dead. They are bombs, and more importantly, they are tonberries, and tonberries will kill you, as you will see in about 30 seconds. For now, that's all we're doing. That's it. Just get regen on, pound away with Punisher mode behind him if you can, until you get that orange stagger bar up, and then stagger him and do all your high damage stuff. That's you're going to see here in about 10 seconds. We're going to get him staggered. The abilities I like to use are Infinity's End, Star Shower for Tifa, and Ray of Judgment for Aerith. That's pretty much what we're going to switch to immediately and do that. And right about here is where you're going to see me not kill a Tomberry, because I was focused on other things. The Tomberry retaliated on Aerith and killed her and broke her revival earring. And this reason right here is pretty much exactly why you didn't see me equip revival earrings on all 3 of my characters. It always seems like one of these rounds, something silly happens just like that. They end up getting broken, they end up dead. I have no attack or defense benefits from my other accessories. We've only got revival earrings to handle Mega Flare when we fight Bahamut in round 4. And usually by then, all 3 of them are broken anyway. So I just figured, why not just go with the champion belt and hit harder and have the attacks do less. Anyway, there's not much going on here. We'll discuss the intricacies of Wave 4 when Wave 4 comes up. For now, we're just continuing to do this step-by-step thing. Keep Revive on through Aerith. Cure when you need to. If you need to cure everybody, use Aerith again. Be somewhat mindful of her MP. She's got a decent chunk, but, you know, only gets about 50 of them back every round, so don't go too crazy. If you notice, we're not using any offensive spells. We're not really doing anything cute. We're just slashing away until Fat Chocobo is dead. Again, regen with Aerith, Punisher mode with Cloud. If you can get behind him, great. Triple slash whenever any of the small enemies are summoned. Make sure they're off the map as quickly as possible. Continue to work on that orange bar until Fat Chocobo gets staggered, and then hit him with your trifecta of Infinity's End, Ray of Judgment, and Star Shower, and then go back to Cloud with Punisher mode and rinse and repeat. I think I've said about all that's interesting to say for this wave, so we're going to go ahead and forward about 2 minutes to the end of this battle. Okay, so we're back here. Just going to finish off Fat Chocobo here and Moogle. I wanted to make one quick note. You're going to see me use my limit for, I believe, the first time in this battle. Feel free to use them whenever you want. Do not use your summon, though. You only get one in the entire 5-round thing, and there's a very, very specific spot when you want to summon Shiva, actually. That's who it's going to be. But just a quick note on that. I'll put it in the description too. Don't use your summon until round 4. Limit breaks, if you got them, go ahead and use them. I use cross slash on this. You could switch to the level 2 one, Ascendant or whatever it's called. I've noticed it does about the same damage over time. And again, we're not trying to get good. Just hit him real hard until he falls down. As you can see, that's happening real quick. That's going to bring up round 3, which is Leviathan. And so I'm going to give you a step-by-step on Leviathan as well. It's going to be a little abbreviated as well. This is a long, boring battle. Almost nothing happens. You're also not in much danger of dying, so there's not a whole reason to watch the full 10 minutes of this round. I think everything you need to know, you can find out in about a minute and a half if I shut up and start saying what needs to be said. Same pattern as always. Start with regen from Aerith. Make sure everybody's got it. Keep it on at all times. That's Infinity's End, Star Shower, and Ray of Judgment. But otherwise, I'll catch up to you when he does Tidal Wave. Okay, a lot of things are going to happen in the next minute or so with this battle, so this is a good time. It's about a minute and a half in. I've just been kind of wailing away at him. Anyway, he starts his Tidal Wave attack. Tidal Wave does 6,000 or 7,000 damage to each person, which you would think would be devastating, but he also doesn't do that much damage in his regular attacks. So probably you'll have 6,000 or 7,000 health when it happens. He telegraphs it really well, so you kind of know it's coming. Also, you have something called Reprieve on your weapons, whereas the Revival Earrings only work once per battle, like once per 5 rounds. These work once per round, so as long as you haven't died, Reprieve will kick in if Tidal Wave gets you, and all your people will have 1 HP. Just make sure you got some of your blue bars so you can do Cure right away. But he probably will not kill you with that attack. It looks scary. You see the screen goes red and stuff. Not that big of a deal. So that's what we got going on with the Tidal Wave. But now he'll start his second phase of his attack, which is basically we're going to stagger him here, and like after he finishes his Tidal Wave, he'll kind of stick up outside of the, like a pole up out of the floor again for a little bit. That's your chance to just hit him with whatever you got, get him to stagger, and then of course hit him with the trifecta, which is Infinity's End, Star Shower, Ray of Judgment. That'll take a whole bunch of his health off, which will push him into the second phase. You know, his stagger's going to start right about now. And when that's done, then he'll start his second phase. And in his second phase, he flies around. He'll spawn these little whirlpool guys, these little tornado fellas, 3 of them, that pop up around the floor. Those will damage you if you're in the circle. More importantly, you can only hit him with ranged attack while he's up there. And any attack that goes through that circle will be nullified. So you want to you'll watch me do it with Aerith a bunch because she's the only ranged character I have at the moment. Kind of run outside the circle, get a line on his tail, and then fire a couple of quick square shots. This would be absolutely miserable except for a couple of things. Number one, he does so little damage while all this is happening. You can stay alive a long time. Number two, he will come down to the ground level every once in a while and kind of make a little circle pass at very, very slow speeds. And this is your cue to go ahead and dump all of Cloud and Tifa's ATB into him. Braver works fine. Infinity's End probably is a little too slow. Might want to stick with something quicker like Triple Slash, whatever. Just hit him with some stuff while he's down there. Couple of those and he'll pretty much be dead. It just takes like 5 minutes because he circles around forever and Aerith can do very little damage. Anyway, all that stuff's boring. You'll get him eventually. It'll be fine. I'm going to fast forward to the next part. So we're about a minute away from beating Leviathan, which is going to bring up Wave 4, Bahamut. And that is by far the hardest round in this 5-round challenge. This is probably why most of you tuned in. If you can pretty much survive all these other battles, but this guy's a doozy. How can you stay bad and beat this battle? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you. In fact, as I'm looking at this at post-commentary, I did even worse than I thought and still managed to survive. So this is actually a really good video because you can see how it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have a good loadout and react accordingly, and you should be okay. Ultimately, you're going to want to learn how to survive Mega Flare. That's what most of the loadout has been for. We'll talk about that in a minute. We got about 5 minutes before we have to worry about it. So first off, his basic attack pattern is he is going to attack you relentlessly for about 45 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. It kind of varies. I think it's based on damage you do. And then he's going to sit down and go to school and start counting. So he'll say 5 and he won't attack while he's doing that, 15, 20 seconds. He'll go back to relentless attacks again, and then say 4 relentless attacks, then say 3. That pattern continues until Mega Flare erupts. So as we start the battle, you're going to, theoretically, what I would suggest is that you switch to Aerith and cast Regen and have that going at all times. I will actually do that here in a minute. I also suggest that you use another ability bar for her and cast Fleeting Familiar. It's like kind of like a poison thing. It'll do a little damage over time. I did not do that. I failed to do that. But, you know, if you do it, if you think of it, go for it. Cloud, then, is going to be your primary person here while Bahamut's going nuts. And he's got an ability called Counter Stance, which you'll see me try to use and do it poorly. And then I will start using it correctly. That is correct right there. Counter Stance is like kind of like a gamble. If he'll get into a defensive stance, and if the enemy attacks during that 5 seconds, you will block it automatically and you will do a bunch of damage. If you miss, he'll just do a regular attack, which if the enemy's not around will just hit the air. And here you see he's already moved into his countdown stage, so he's saying 5. When this happens, you want to unload with your trifecta. That would be Infinity's End. You'll see right here, Infinity's End, Star Shower for Tifa, and Ray of Judgment for Aerith, if she's got the ability bar yet. And you'll see we just did that. So that's pretty much it. Use Counter Stance if you can. I do a terrible job of it, and I get crushed a lot, as you can see. If not, you could just switch to Punisher mode and parry, and it'll do about the same thing. We are 25:37 in. Okay, so we got a couple minutes still. So this is going to continue, and you'll notice that little pink aura around him that damages you, but it's mostly counteracted by regen. You saw right there the red number was 97 and the green number was like 100. So that's why you keep regen on. It negates it. Not a big deal. You could theoretically just do this all the way through, except for 2 things. Number 1, when that countdown gets to 0, you'll get 1, by the way. It'll go 1, and then he'll go and attack some more, and then he'll stop and do Mega Flare. So Mega Flare is rough. It does 9999 damage to your entire party, regardless of your defense, and it will absolutely destroy you because, you know, you can't break the damage limit in this game. There are a few things you can do to avoid Mega Flare or survive Mega Flare. One is Revival Earrings. Those are an accessory that you equip. If you noticed way back in the beginning, I put it on Aerith and nobody else. What I found is that they tend to break at some point before Mega Flare happens anyway. Once it breaks, it doesn't work anymore. So if you die at any point up to right now, you will not have Revival Earrings anyway. I figured, what the heck, let's just add some extra attack and defense on Cloud and Tifa, and then Aerith's broke anyway. So those are out. The second thing you can do is put Reprieve on your weapons, and that can be used once per round, not once per battle. So as long as you are not reduced to 0 HP up until Mega Flare, your weapon ability will keep you alive when Mega Flare gets cast. The downside is it will only give you 1, count him 1 HP, and he attacks relentlessly, so you will have to be pretty lucky to get yourself cured again before he takes you back down to 0. That's actually going to happen in this battle. I think one person's going to die, one person's going to get reprieved and be down to 1, and one person's going to survive it with the third thing, which is Mana Wall. If you cast Mana Ward or Mana Wall, which is fully upgraded barrier materia, I believe, this will reduce the damage of Mega Flare by 50%. So it will do 4999 damage. So if you're casting Mana Wall, you want that person to be at least 5,000 HP, or else they'll still die anyway. So I think that covers that. The problem is, this is all well and good, but in the middle of all this, he also has another mechanic, which is when he gets down to, I think, 50% health, he's going to go ahead and summon Ifrit. And that's going to happen in about 1.5 minutes. The biggest problem with this is that Ifrit gets summoned right while you're trying to prepare yourself for Mega Flare. So it is utter chaos for about 5 minutes. And you see right there, Cloud just died. He got hit. I didn't heal him well enough. His Reprieve kicked in, if you saw, and he went to 1, and then Bahamut immediately attacked him, where he got hit with that pink stuff and got dropped to 0. So boom, his Reprieve's gone. His Revival Earrings would have been broken instead if I had equipped them, but I didn't. So this is kind of the stuff that happens while you're fighting Bahamut. As you see, we're still just trying to block as much as we can when he goes crazy, and then hit him, do as much damage as we can when he sits down and goes to school, does his countdown. But we got about 30 seconds left, and Ifrit's coming up. So when Ifrit gets summoned, you want to kill Ifrit as quickly as possible, and this is why you saved Cloud's Limit Break over there. This is why you saved your summon. Tifa has Shiva, and we are going to summon Shiva literally the second that Ifrit comes on the map. What you also want to do is use your lock-on feature, which I haven't mentioned up to this point. Again, we're trying to stay bad. No need to learn mechanics if we don't need them, but now we need them. So you want to lock on to Ifrit. I completely failed to do this until right before he dies. So again, stay bad. You can still survive even if you ignore everything I just said. Lock on with your L3, and that will make Shiva's attacks attack Ifrit. That will make all of your non-playing characters attack Ifrit instead of wasting a bunch of things trying to kill Bahamut when you really need to get him off of there. Now, if you've noticed, I have tried a couple of times to cast Mana Wall, and I got blocked, and then Aerith got stopped, and as a result, I have Mana Wall on Aerith and Aerith alone at the moment. Bahamut is reaching 1 on his countdown, so it's getting pretty important that I throw that barrier up. And I'm casting it right now on Cloud, and I got interrupted. So now I got to get another ATB back for her. This is the kind of stuff that happens because it just goes so fast. Do your best to get Mana Wall up on any of your 3 characters. If he's about to cast Mega Flare anyway, and they have less than 5,000 HP, then there's no point anyway. At that point, you want to just keep your time bar, your ATB, your blue bar full so that you can cast Cure or Revive as quickly as possible. As you see, I'm going to Curaga everybody, and then I think I'm going to get Mana Wall on Tifa just in time. But it's coming up here pretty quick, where it's, you know, like you see, it's just utter chaos. We got Shiva, Ifrit, Bahamut all on the map, all 3 of our characters. We're trying to stay alive. Right now we're good on health. Tifa's got her limit break, and we're probably going to use that on Ifrit here pretty soon. Cloud was just about to lay waste to Ifrit, and Bahamut came up and wailed on him. It's just generally a mess. And you see, I still have yet to lock on. So everybody's over there hitting Bahamut for no reason. Aerith finally gets, I finally figure out what to do with her, and I get a Mana Wall on Tifa, which is what's happening right now, as Bahamut is casting Mega Flare. So here we go. Anyway, now you see this is what's going to happen. I can tell you what's going to happen. Tifa's got Mana Wall and 6,800 health, so she's going to survive. Cloud has nothing and no Reprieve, so he's going to die. And Aerith, her Mana Wall has worn out now because I did it too soon. So her Reprieve is going to kick in because she has no Revival Earrings because I screwed up in, wave 2, 3, whatever that was. And so she's going to come back with 1 HP. So I'm going to have 1, 0, and about, I don't know, I think like 2,000, something like that on Tifa. Anyway, Shiva did her thing and killed Ifrit before Mega Flare cast. So at least we got that going for us. We're back down to 1 enemy. Again, I just kind of give you this as the battle's going. A lot of different things can happen, but you now are watching this devastating thing. And there you go. Cloud's dead. Aerith's got 2 grand. Tifa's down to 1. We did the best we could. That's what we came up with. Fortunately, Aerith's got at least a little bit of HP. You're going to see me really scramble trying to get everybody cured up again. And again, this is the kind of thing that you just got to do, right? So now Tifa's got health. Aerith is now going to die as I cast Cure on her. It's just try to just use Cure, use Revive. This is when you want to use Arise. It's like a 2-second longer casting time, but it will revive an ally with full HP. You don't care about your HP bar at all at this point. You just need to get everybody back up over 5,000. That's all you're trying to do, and you'll see here in just a moment, about 20 seconds. Now Cloud's alive, Aerith is alive, Tifa's alive, everybody's good. Aerith has her limit, which is Healing Wind. I did want to mention that her level 2 limit break is called Planet's Protection, and it theoretically makes your party immune to damage for 2 minutes, maybe a minute, 90 seconds, something like that. I thought about this after I played this like 10 times. You might be able to cast Planet's Protection and dodge Mega Flare entirely. I don't know if that works. Again, I'm not trying to get good, so if you want to try it out, you can. The only downside is level 2 limit breaks take a lot more damage to charge, so she's might be dead by the time Mega Flare happens, and then it won't matter anyway. Anyway, we are good now. He's just going to repeat his bullshit. Oops, sorry about that. I really try to keep this PG. But he's really just going to repeat his original pattern. He's going to attack a bunch, which now his attacks can't hurt you that bad. He is going to stop and count down again, but he'll be dead long before he gets down to 1. And that's pretty much going to do it. We're just going to sit here and watch him die, and it's going to be pretty quick. I think he's got maybe less than a minute. You see, we're really peeling him now that we got got Ifrit off the board. We've survived Mega Flare. We were able to cure everybody, and this is how we go. The 5th round isn't nearly as bad or as chaotic as any of this, and I'm going to I think I'm just going to fast forward the whole first part of the battle against Pride and Joy, and we'll just finish off with the rest. Pride and Joy is not dangerous. He's slow. He has high physical defense, but you don't care because you got time. You can just walk up behind him and whack on his legs. Just hit him over and over and over again with his legs. The beautiful thing with him is he's so slow that Tifa can do it and still get Star Shower and hit his legs. So there you go. Congratulations. We beat Bahamut. We've moved on to the 5th round, which, like I said, it's just a big dumb metal guy. He can insta-kill you, but only one character at a time. Doesn't matter which character gets killed. All 3 of them have Revive. We're really good on MP. Even Tifa could cast Arise like 4 or 5 times. So basically our strategy for this guy is do not get wiped, because you don't want to fight Bahamut again and all that other messing around. But put regen on your character. Just, it comes in really handy. Keep a note. Be aware that as he's walking around, he's going to start like bleeding fire onto the map on the floor. And if you walk around, it's a lot like Bahamut's pink aura, where if you step in it, you'll take damage. You take far more damage from this fire than you do from the pink aura in Bahamut. I have no strategy to avoid it other than to just heal yourself when you get low and stand behind there and hit his ankles until he falls down. We're going to go ahead and forward this because this video is already too long, but I'm going to go ahead and forward to the end, and then we'll wrap it up, and that'll do it. So we're just basically using our same strategy as always of keeping regen active, curing when you need to, and with Pride and Joy we're just sneaking up and hitting his ankles. I happen to get a Ray of Judgment in there with Aerith, which knocked him down. That happens a lot. Also, he has found, for some reason, decided to target Cloud always. And that's great, because you're going to see in a minute, I will just go ahead and switch to Tifa, who's more effective against this guy anyway, and primarily the reason why I picked her over Barrett. But yeah, we're just going to spend about a minute just hitting this guy's legs until he falls down, and then hitting him with Star Shower, and do that over and over and over again, and he will fall eventually. Again, you might die a little bit, but it's all pretty much physical attacks. He can only insta-kill one person when he grabs them. You can avoid that by hitting his arm that's holding your character, but you could just let him die and revive. Everybody's got revive anyway, and you survive this long. You can see we hardly used any MP in this whole battle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, he's got that lock on. You see that red reticle on Cloud, so that's all he's doing is just attacking Cloud. He's not even attacking him, I don't think. Cloud's got full health, so I'm just standing here with Tifa, just plowing away at the legs, and you see his health's going down a pretty decent amount. The most important thing is that orange bar is going up a pretty decent amount, which means we're going to stagger him here in a minute. And as soon as that happens, it will be game over. Your reward for doing all this is to get an accessory called the Götterdämmerung, and that is an accessory that basically allows you to start every battle with a full limit meter for whoever's wearing it. In hard mode, this is absolutely invaluable. I found that it made hard mode almost trivial, because MP is a huge management issue. You spend a lot of MP to carry yourself during battles, when you can end most of the battles with the trash, with the mobs, like regular battles, non-boss battles, with a quick limit break and then like a triple slash. Then you don't use any MP, you get to the boss in every chapter and you're good to go. And that is it. Pride and Joy is down. This challenge is complete. As you see, we get the Ultimate Weapon trophy for completing this. We will get that Götterdämmerung accessory, which I kind of explained what that's all about. And, you know, we managed to do it using very, very little of the mechanics that the game offers to us, which is great, because if you want to play it your way, to even get to this challenge, you have to beat the game on any difficulty. So you kind of already know at least some of the mechanics. And if you've got a fighting style and can adjust it to this, you will only get better. And that's a really great thing. Now, Chadley's going to come in here and give you his whole big secret thing. I think probably everybody knew this, or nobody cares. Sorry, Chadley. You know, I'm rooting for you, but, you know, not a big thing. And that's pretty much all I got to say. I want to thank you for watching this video. This is my first YouTube video. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and finish this and do an entire Stay Bad hard mode playthrough. So let me know in the comment section if you think that's a good idea. So stay bad, people. Non-gone is gone.